Hi guys, Chosen Reactions, and this video I'm going to give a review of the final episode of the first season, and I'm also going to review season 1. I'm actually pretty nervous. I'm not really sure how I should do the review like this. Luckily I got some tips from some of you guys on Twitter and also from After Show Reacts. Really, thank you again. So yeah, if you maybe notice, I've wrote some things down. So if you're like, why is she looking downwards? I'm just checking out my notes. I want to do it the right way. But first, let me focus on the final episode. Yeah, as you can see, I'm okay again. Last time you saw me, I was so done. I was pretty mad, to be honest. I'm still I still want to be in denial. I've heard that. I mean, looking at, I don't know. It's pretty logical that he is gone. Andy is gone. And I heard from one of you that the actor wanted to leave, and I always respect actors' decisions, but it still sucks, you know, because I really liked his part of the show. I mean, I'm not really interested when we have supernatural shows. Most of the time, agents aren't that interesting, but he had a really beautiful connection with Prue. And yeah, they had some tough times, but at the end of the day, he did love her, and she loved him, and they wanted to be together. But yeah, things were complicated because of her powers, because of the fact that she's a witch, because of the fact that he wants to have a normal life. But I believe that one day he would have been able to completely accept Prue for who she is. Maybe it's still with me, I don't know, but I just believe that. I think that if they went to more adventures together, if they defeated more bad guys, then eventually he'll be like, you know, a normal life is overrated. I'd rather have Prue, and we can still make our own place and be together there. And even though it would be risky, even though we would still have, you know, a little bit afraid that something could happen, everything can happen. Just like now, they weren't together, and he still had to die. I don't know. I hope that we see him later on. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe flashbacks. Maybe, I mean, we had episodes where they went to. I mean, a couple episodes ago, Prue literally had to die to defeat a ghost. So she had to die for a while to defeat him. And I'm not saying that Prue should, you know, kill herself. Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, maybe there will be an episode where she will see Andy. I don't know. I just hope so. But yeah, this episode, like I said while I was crying, it was a great episode. I read through the comments, and someone pointed out that I noticed it a little bit, but I was so distracted with the fact like I don't want Andy to die. But someone pointed out that I mean, I didn't know that little things were changing, but I didn't really understand that at the beginning Prue was like something like, I care about you, then it was like I will always love you, and then it suddenly changed to I love you. So there was this little changes, very subtle actually, but they had a really big impact. And while I was watching, I was like, hey, something has changed, or they react differently, but I didn't really notice that line, which is really a shame, because I really liked how the writers took that in. Yeah, the villain Rodriguez, sorry if I don't pronounce his name correctly. I mean, I think he was a good villain. I mean, he wasn't the most charismatic villain, but he was pretty creepy. He could look so mad. Ugh, and not only because of his bad eyes, but just you could just feel his hate, his anger, also his disgust. He was just like, I want those witches to be dead. I want them to be gone, not just because they are the charmed ones. I don't know. It just ugh. And I know all the warlocks want the witches dead, but I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It just gets under your skin. But yeah, about his plan, there were some opposing views. Some of you were like, you know, it's pretty stupid, because why not accept the fact that you only killed 2? At least you don't have the charm 3 anymore. They can't use the powers of 3, which I understand, because at the end of the day, the biggest threat is indeed that they can use the power of 3. When they're not together, they are way less stronger. Yeah. But others of you are like, yeah, but why would you risk it? Why would you have those loose ends? You would be better off if you could just kill them all. So I'm I'm kind of at both sides. On the one hand, I'm like, why would I waste all this energy just bringing him back and back all the time, just so he can finally kill all three of them? Why not just kill two of them and then find someone more competent who can kill the final one, Pooh? At least now you know that she will be less powerful, and she won't be defended by her sisters. So yeah, but I mean, Rodriguez, he wasn't the smartest, but the other one, I forgot his name, who could rewind the time, he was pretty smart to just think like, we just keep on trying, and I hope at one day you're finally going to understand how you kill them. But maybe you should have asked more villains to know, to join in. I don't know, just saying. What more? Yeah, oh my god, of course, how we got repeatedly saw the sisters got killed. That was really disturbing. Really disturbing. When Phoebe got killed, I was like, what? Like, at first I didn't believe it. I mean, we saw her lying down, and when Prue reached out for her, and also Piper, and Prue was like, she's dead. Like, first I was shocked, and then like I was logically thinking like, nah, she can't die because we have all the seasons coming up. So then I was like, oh, they're going to rewind time. But it was still disturbing. Even though you knew that they wouldn't remain dead, it was still very suspenseful. But it was also, I mean, it was so horrifying. How she just flew into the wall, and that scream, and of course the amazing acting, because the Prue and Piper, how they reacted to Phoebe's death, it was so heart-wrenching. I can barely speak about this episode. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at this. Then when both Piper and Phoebe were dead, I was like, what? Stop! I don't want this. I can't take this. It was such a stressful episode. It was a good episode, but a stressful episode. I'm not saying that it's a whole logical episode, but I don't really mind those things. I mean, I don't really like plot holes, but I do think that the heart of an episode, the emotion of an episode, that those are more important than just logical facts. Yeah, sorry about that. I always get distracted. Someone was calling my name. I was like, oh, I have to say something before they keep on calling. But anyway, that was my review for the final episode. I probably forgot a lot of things. If you have questions about what did you think about that, how do you feel about this scene, you could always ask the questions in the comments and I would answer them. Anyway, I want to go on to my favorite episodes of the season, which was very difficult, and I don't feel comfortable actually about choosing my favorite episodes. I do know that a lot of you probably want to know them, so I will give 5 of my favorite episodes at the moment. I do want to stress at the moment. I looked at the episode list and I just went through that. I was like, which episode do I remember the most? Like which had particular scenes that I really enjoyed, favorite moments, and so on. So yeah, I just looked at that, and the following 5 episodes came up. Well, first off, I had Dead Man Dating, then I had The Wendigo, then Secrets and Guys, that 70s episode, and I finally Love Hurts. And as a special mention, I have the final episode of season 1. So first off, for Dead Man Dating, that was episode 4. Really loved that episode. I think that was my first favorite episode, if I remember correctly. I really liked the storyline between Mark and Piper. Mark, who didn't believe in ghosts, he was like, Mom, just chill out. It was his birthday and she wanted to protect her son. I think she wanted to give him a charm, so that if something would happen, that that his soul would be safe. But he was like, oh, come on, I don't believe in that silly stuff. But yeah, he wasn't really lucky that day, because he got killed. He got killed by a gang. And one of the members, like I think the boss, he wanted to fake his own death. So he used Mark's body, and he burned his body, so that everyone would think that he was dead instead of Mark. Wow, that sounded really complicated. I'll explain that. But yeah, I remember that I was really and I was really shocked that he burned down his body. So he wasn't just killed, he also burned his body, and while his body was burning, Mark was looking at it like, what are you doing? and I really felt so sad. And of course, it helps that the actor, I really love him. He was also in Star Trek, and I also saw this film, I think Searching, really good movie, check it out. He really sold it, and he also had some nice chemistry with Piper. So yeah, I think it was a pretty, I mean, I don't think cute is the right way, but it was a really beautiful storyline. And I also liked the funny moments of Phoebe, that she was, how do you say it, fortune teller. She had this pink outfit, if I remember correctly. It was so funny how she was like, you know, I want a job, I want to earn money, why wouldn't I use my powers? And eventually she learns that, you know, you can't use your powers for your own gain. But hey, it gave us some funny moments. But the ending of the episode was really, yeah, that was really sad. It was bittersweet actually, because Mark, he could rest in peace. He know that his soul wasn't going to be taken away by, I guess, the sort of villain of the episode. And he also got to see his father, if I remember correctly. But that was, I felt so bad for Piper. Like, can't you have like a normal love interest? I mean, the pilot literally started off that her boyfriend, you know, was a warlock. Yeah, beautiful episode. I also want to say that the episodes I mentioned are not in a particular order, so they're just my favorite 5 episodes at the moment in no particular order. Then next up, the Wendigo. I'm still not sure how I should pronounce it. The Wendigo. However, I mean, whatever. That was also a really fun episode. I think one of the episodes the most fun watching. At the beginning, I was pretty scared. Then I wasn't that scared anymore, because even though the Wendigo did look, you know, pretty gross, I got over it, I guess. But then when we had the reveal, when we saw who the Wendigo was in human form, who was supposed to be an FBI agent, I almost screamed. I remember that a few seconds before she revealed her true self, before we found out that, hey, she is the Wendigo, and I was like, wait a minute. She isn't one of them, right? And then, woo! She's not one of them, right? Wait, she's not the Wendigo, right? Oh my god! Oh my. Then the guy, I forgot his name, that he wanted to talk to her. He wanted to use a lighter to I don't know, to smoke. And then she was like, "Fun, use fire. I don't want that." And he was like, "Wait, what?" And then she broke his neck. Yeah, she broke his neck. And of course, I can totally not forget about Piper, who turned into an Wendigo. Oh my god. Oh my god. She had, like, at first, I mean, she got bitten. She went to the hospital. She was very nervous about it because she doesn't like to see blood. Then she got this weird nightmare that Andy was visiting her, and she opened the door, and he was like, "Well, you know, what's up with your arm?" And then she turned into a Wendigo, and I was so shocked that I couldn't even react. I was like, but then like 1 second later, it turned out it was just a nightmare. And then she checked out her wound, and you had all this hair. Ugh. No, I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see it again. No. So Marty, if you're editing this, yeah, I'm speaking to myself. Don't include a picture. Don't, please. Anyway, and of course the ending when so Piper was then truly in Wendigo, and Prue and Piper said Prue and Phoebe, they made sure that she couldn't escape. Well, they thought so, but then Piper could escape. And in the woods, Phoebe and Prue were chasing down the real, you know, the true Wendigo. And then they had to make a decision of who are we going to shoot. And then they actually shoot at Piper. But then Piper, in her Wendigo form, used her freezing powers. I don't know, that was just so funny. I was like, what? But it worked out. I mean, if she couldn't use her powers, then she would have been kind of dead, I guess, but luckily that didn't happen. All things worked out, and we had a great episode. Next up is Secrets and Guys. This episode, it didn't really have a standout villain. There were just two guys who wanted to rob banks and things. I don't know. They just wanted money. They were bastards though. But for me, what made this episode so special was the bond between Prue and Max. I really hope that that was his name. You know, the little child, the little boy. He was also a witch, and his father knew that he is a witch, but his father didn't accept that because his late wife, the Mac's mother, she was also a witch, but she kept it secret. She didn't mention that she was a witch, and later on he found out, and he was really resentful about that, and the mom also died. So that was really, I mean, I immediately felt very sorry for Max, and it didn't help that he got kidnapped. He later got kidnapped, and the villains were like, "Oh, we're going to bring him back next morning. Don't call the police." I like, how are you even gonna borrow a child? Yeah, really disturbing. But anyway, like I said, I really liked that Max was a witch, and that he and Prue got this connection, because Prue also lost, like I said, they lost their mom, so she could understand that. She understood that you had to, you know, you don't have your mom anymore. Plus, you are a witch. You have these powers. Plus, you have a dad that, you know, is not within your life. I mean, their father literally disappeared, but with Max, they were also not. Max's father was also not that close with him. So we had some beautiful scenes, and at the beginning of the episode, when the Holloway sisters were, you know, discussing about, you know, which objects they were going to throw out, Prue was actually mentioning that she doesn't want to become a mother. I was like, what are you saying? You will be a perfect mother. I mean, she is basically already sort of a mom. But at the end of the episode, she was like, yeah, you know, I would like to have children someday, because of her beautiful conversations with Max. And I also liked how, I'm not sure if it was the episode we also found out about Leo. Shame on me. I don't think it was it? No, I'm not sure. Sorry if I'm not right. I don't know all the episodes by heart yet, so please don't kill me. But I think it's also the episode where Phoebe finds out about Leo's powers, because Leo wanted to protect Max, because Max is a witch. And then I'm saying this because I also want to mention the scene where Leo saves Max's father. It was really beautiful, because I was crying in this episode. Actually, I was crying. Yeah, I was crying because I thought that they killed Max's father, and I was. But luckily, Leo saved the day. Really beautiful scene. I always like how they add this. I don't know how they add this effect. It kind of reminds me of like fairies. I don't know, like fairy dust. So yeah, and Max and his father were close again, and his father accepted him for who he was. I was like, I shouldn't be afraid, and I should just embrace you. I keep on rambling. Anyway, next episode, that 70s episode, I really liked it because of the family reunion, of course. I can keep this pretty short. I just like that the sisters got to see their mother again. They did a great job of casting the mother. They really, this is one of the shows where I really believe that the actors are family with each other. They just gel so well. I don't know. And of course, their grandma, so badass. She actually scared me when she thought that the sisters wanted to kidnap the young version of themselves. How she used her powers to just let them fly away to the door. Well, not to the door, but outside of the house. That was pretty scary. I was like, oh my god, she could totally kill them. I'm like, just in a second. The ending, of course, was sad again, but they had to say goodbye again to their mom. But I'm so glad that Phoebe didn't warn their mom about what would happen, because that would have disastrous effects in the future. But she did a good job of just taking a picture, having this memory of her mom while she's inside her mom's belly. Sorry, and while her sisters are next to the mom. I don't know. Well, the little versions of them. It's just a good episode. I don't know. I can't say more. Then we had Love Hurts, which I recently seen. Also, very good episode. I think I actually enjoyed. I don't know. Maybe you will kill me now, but I think I actually enjoyed it more than the finale. Maybe because Andy didn't die there, but I really liked. I mean, Leo, we haven't seen that much of him, but I really like him so far. He's just so sweet. He has this beautiful smile. I don't know. I have a weak spot for him, I guess. But that was not the main reason why it's my favorite episode. I just liked the dark lighter and white lighter contrast that we had. For like I pointed out in the comments, I really liked that the trigger of Leo for to use his powers was love, while the Dark Lighter, his trigger was hate. And maybe it will be, you know, too obvious. I don't care. I just really like that. But the Dark Lighter, I know for Battlestar Galactica, like I said, but it did a great job. I think he came out so menacing, but it was kind of believable that at an earlier point of time that he was, you know, that he seemed to be a good guy. I don't know, that he seemed to be like, oh, he's someone who could love, and then suddenly you see who he really is. But that episode was just nicely paced. I don't know. I also liked this where Piper, when she realized what the trigger was, when she was crying and she said, I love you, and how the tear and it lighted up, and then she was like, oh my god, I found out what the trigger is. And she said it while she was crying, and Leo regained consciousness or came back to life. I'm still not really sure about that. And he was like, why couldn't you say it sooner? And she was like, why couldn't you tell me? He was like, you had to figure it out yourself. It was beautiful. I know they haven't that many scenes. They didn't have that many scenes together yet, but somehow they make it work, because in other shows I'm like, why do you people care about each other so much? You barely know each other, and now you're like, oh, you're the love of my life. Sorry about that little voice, but in this case, I don't know. It just works. I don't know, for me. And then as a special mention, I have the final episode. Yeah, I say special mention. I refuse to list it in my favorite episode list because of Andy. I don't wanna say it again, you know. But I mean, I gave the review. Just go back to that. So yeah, that was my favorite episodes. Now up to my least favorite episodes. So least favorite episodes. And it doesn't mean that I think the episodes are bad, because I think I enjoyed every episode. I don't think there was ever an episode I was like, you know, that episode sucked. No. So we had episode 3, Thank You for Not Morphing. Then Reading from Hell. The Fourth Sister. Feats of Clay. And wow, I can't even read my own handwriting. What episode is that? Episode 2. I can't even. I don't know. I just write down the title. The second episode was with the guy. I mean, the thing is, I barely remember the second episode. It doesn't mean that it's bad, but I was like, what was it again? And I saw the title, something about under your skin or something. But it was about a guy, and I think he was trying to be a photographer. Yeah, I don't know. I feel embarrassed now. Sorry, I don't want this video to be too long. But I really, maybe I should just check it out. But I don't know. It's just my least favorite episode because it isn't that memorable. I do think I enjoyed the episode, but I don't really remember what it's about. Let's just go to the next episode. Episode 3, Thank You for Not Morphing. Like I said, it was with their father. The father returned, and at the beginning of the episode, I was pretty mad at him. I didn't know what to think of it. Whenever he was on screen, I was like, just go away. I didn't like how he made my crew upset. He was so cocky. I don't know. I didn't like his attitude. You were away for such a long time, then you go back, and I don't like how he was behaving. I didn't know why he was behaving in that way. Like, you are the one at fault. Why are you bothering the sisters? If you want to have contact with them again, then do it in a respectful way. And later on, we find out that he knows about their powers. The reveal was actually pretty cool because they were in that restaurant, and someone was the waiter was coming with a cake, I guess, and then the father let him trip, and Piper, she freezed the time, and she made sure the cake wasn't going to fall, so she had it in her hands. And then the dad was like, oh, so you have the freezing power, something like that. And they were like, what? And I was also like, what? So he knew about their powers, which made me even more mad. Like, you know about it and you just go away. And then the fact that he didn't want them to give their own choice of, like, if they want to have their powers or not. He was like, I don't want you guys to have a normal life. No, let them decide for themselves. Yes, I know that it can be hard because what happened to their mom, but your daughters are grown-ups, they can decide for themselves. But, you know, at the end of the episode, he redeemed himself. He was willing to sacrifice himself, sorta, I guess. And we had this very sweet video that they were watching, the sisters, when they were young, with one of you pointed out that the mom in the videotape was played. Oh, sorry, I'm doing such a great job. Anyway, one of you pointed out that the mother was played by the actress who also portrayed Phoebe. So that was pretty funny because I watched it back. I was like, hey, you're right, it is Phoebe. But anyway, very sweet scene. So the episode was kind of, it had great moments, and still, it's not a bad episode. I still believe that season 1 doesn't really have bad episodes, in my opinion. But it was just meh. Then we have Wedding from Hell. Again, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't that special to me, in my opinion. It definitely wasn't a bad episode. It had stand-up moments. I like that we got to see how Piper was trying to plan a wedding, for a customer, and that Phoebe wanted to help her. But again, I don't really remember that much about it. So, it's just average for me. Then we have the fourth sister. Also episodes like, oh yeah, that happened. So in this episode, you had this villain in a mirror, and she wanted the sisters. She wanted their powers, I guess, and she wanted them dead. So she used someone who wanted to have her own family. She was an only child, and her mom was in rehab, if I understood correctly. So she had a lot of trouble, and she wasn't really she hadn't really a good relationship with her aunt, I think. So she was looking for family members, which is kind of sad. I kind of understand that you don't want to be alone, but there are better ways to do that. But the chick in the mirror gave her, some of her powers so she could be a witch. And then she went to their home, to the sisters' their home, and she was like, oh, I know that you're a witch, I'm a witch too. And she basically thought that, yeah, you have to accept me now, I want to be one of you. And Prue was like me. We were both like, we don't know you, and we don't trust you. And the sister got really mad. She was constantly, talking trash about Prue, behind her back, into her face. The only one who she was kind of decent to was Phoebe. Phoebe was really patient. I did like that episode we got to see Phoebe's side again, and she really puts people at ease. It's really sweet. I think I would like to have a Phoebe in real life. She can just calm me down, like, Marty, relax, take it easy. I would like that. But the episode, I don't know, the actress who plays the fourth sister, she didn't really sold it to me. I got distracted by eyebrows. I don't know, maybe it's superficial, but she tried to act, but she was acting like it looked like all her acting went into her eyebrows. Don't want to offend, but it just distracted me, and there weren't really that many scenes. Maybe the finals, like one of the final scenes where she was talking to Phoebe and thanking her for everything that she did for her. Yeah, I don't know. Then we have Feats of Clay. Feats of Clay. That was with the Egyptian. Was it a goddess? I don't know. It was with the one of Phoebe's exes, Clay. He stole something with a couple of other guys, an artifact, and he wanted to sell the artifact, but the artifact was cursed. So we had this Egyptian villain. I'm not sure what she was, and she wanted to punish everyone. She wanted to punish everyone who tried to steal the artifact. So Clay came back to Seattle, and he was like, "Oh, Phoebe, I want you back. Oh, by the way, can you sell this artifact for me? Maybe your sister can help." So Prue wasn't really sure, but she did want to help them. And then she got in trouble at the job. She was like, her boss was like, "Oh, so you're trying to sell stolen goods now?" Which I'm still mad about, because she totally wasn't. She was actually doing a background check. But at the end of the episode, Clay showed that he did change, I guess, because he was really sacrificing himself. And because he sacrificed himself, or was willing to sacrifice himself, the curse got lifted on him, and the villain was like, "Alright, I'm gonna leave you, I guess, because you learned your lesson." And she went away, and the urn was back in its place. So this episode, I mean, the villain wasn't, in my opinion, not that special, but I did like that she wasn't totally bad. I mean, you could debate, like, is it really that fair to kill someone in a horrible way because they stole an artifact. I mean, stealing is bad, but do you have to kill someone for that? But in this universe, I guess she wasn't that bad. She wasn't one of the baddest villains or something. She was one of the more good villains. But Clay, I didn't care about Clay. In my opinion, I don't want to see Clay again. He can just stay away. I mean, I'm glad that he was willing to sacrifice himself, but he totally didn't feel something about Phoebe staying with her sisters. He was like, oh, we should be together, and couldn't you just, just let your sisters there and come with me. Nah, I'm not for that. Nope. So, bye. And yeah, I think those were my least favorite episodes. So, I guess least favorite episode would be more like average episodes, because I did enjoy every episode, but those episodes weren't just as memorable or just, I don't know, not as good as the other episodes. So yeah, those were my favorite and least favorite episodes. So overall, from season 1, I think it's actually a very good season. You do have to keep in mind at which time the series was released. I mean, we're not in a time where Breaking Bad or whatever was released, but this series, I think it did a great job. It made pretty clear what it's about. The characters all had some development. I mean, at the base of it all, it's like, alright, we have powers. We have to accept those powers. Can we accept that part of ourselves? Can we accept the fact that we are witches? And are we willing to do good with the powers? Because it's one thing to just accept your powers and be like, alright, I guess I have powers, lol. But it's another thing to actually use your powers for good. And we saw that. I think the one who changed the most, I think Phoebe, actually. Or maybe just seemed that way, because at the beginning they kind of gave us this image of her that she was more of the wild child, or she has this huge past and that she doesn't really take things seriously, that she doesn't take a lot of responsibility. But most of the time, later on, she was the one who was like, hey, we have to do this, we have to help the innocents, we have to do what we're destined to do. So yeah, I'm really glad that we saw that development. And also, of course, the relationships between the sisters, that they got much, much closer, and in a natural way. Because at the beginning it was sometimes kind of, they were just, maybe they were just the actors just trying to find out like what kind of dynamic are we going to have. But they quickly felt very natural. That was why when a couple of episodes ago, when Phoebe and Prue had to solve something on their own, I was kind of surprised, because in my opinion they were like kind of besties. And then suddenly we got this reminder like, no, things are not perfect yet, but they are on the right path. So things are going to turn out great if they're going to continue to do this. I also liked in season 1, of course, each episode has a bad guy. There wasn't a big bad. At the beginning, I thought that Rex and Hannah were going to be the big bad, because I was still in this Buffy mindset. I was like, alright, we're going to have a villain for each episode, and then around the 50% of the season, then we're going to see who is going to be the big bad. And that's going to be it. That wasn't the case, and maybe at the beginning I was a little bit disappointed when I realized that there wasn't going to be a big bad. But then I was like, no, it actually kind of works, and we do have a big bad. It's just warlocks in general, or just like evil in general. But mentioning that, I do feel sad that we didn't see more about Rex. I'm not saying that I liked Rex, but I liked that he had a lot of charisma. As Hannah, I really liked them together, actually. So when he got suddenly killed, I wasn't really sure what kind of, what we were going to do for the rest of the series. But I mean, I guess it worked out. I do hope that we get to see them back. Maybe I don't think it's going to happen, but I do hope we're going to see them back. I'm really bad at reviewing. I don't know. I'm not really good at explaining why. But I think I like it because it's lighthearted. It's pretty lighthearted, but sometimes you see this little glimpse, a little promise that things are going to be way darker than you ever think it's going to be. And then I mostly think about Prue. Yeah, I mostly think about Prue when I say that, because Prue is the one, I think, that mostly outright killed villains. Because Phoebe, she has an passive power, she has visions. And Piper, she freezes people, but by freezing people, they don't die, they just freeze. But Prue, she uses her powers to throw them into objects, throw them off a cliff. I'm just not that she threw something off a cliff, but you know, she's the one. Like, if one of them has to destroy someone, she's the one who does it, or she's the one who pulls the literal trigger. I mean, most of the time they all three of them use the power of three to destroy it. But what I mean is, for example, the first time that we got to see it, I think, was in episode where is it? From episode 5, Dream Sorcerer. That creepy guy from the Nightmare on El. You know what I'm saying? Gee, I'm really bad at this. Nightmare on whatever street. That she actually killed him. I mean, he wanted to kill her, so like, you go, girl. But she killed him, and he was dead. I think in real life or in coma. I don't know, but it was pretty disturbing. So that was like, oh, okay. So she was a little bit shocked about it, but she is capable of doing that. And I mean, the most recent example was in the finale, that she killed Rodriguez because Andy was like, "You're not a murderer." And she wasn't planning on killing Rodriguez. She was like, "I'm gonna let you go." But then as soon as Rodriguez turned out like, "Oh no, I still want to kill you," idiot, she killed him. And you know, it was self-defense. But the way she said it, like, "We're no angels either." I don't know, maybe I'm just grasping at straws, but I feel like we're going to see a more darker side of her. I wish I could explain it more better, but I just have this feeling. Maybe for season 2, I don't know. Like, I don't think she's going to turn out bad, but she kind of feels. I know that in the episode that they were foreshadowing maybe that Phoebe is the one who's most likely to turn out, you know, evil. Or not that she's going to that, but she's like. She has a big chance that you can just flip because she was born into the house who is the center of that pentagram or that powers or whatever. So she is actually the one, as the series said, that has the most, like, a flip side. She can just as much use her powers for evil as for good. So maybe I'm just reaching, or maybe it's just because Prue is my favorite. But I don't know. I feel like Prue, we shouldn't underestimate her. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what I'm even doing, but. I hope you still kind of understand what I'm trying to say. But season 1 is a good series, good season. Not sure how many points I would give. I'm not really, I don't know. I can't really say it in points. I have to wait until I watch more seasons. Alright, then, I think this video is already too long, but I should talk a little bit more about this season. So, favorite villains. I'm not going to give a lot of details because I just keep on rambling. But anyway, favorite villains are the Wendigo in its human form. I also liked the practical effect and how it looked, but I think she was more scary when she was just in a human form. And she was, you saw this in her eyes. She was like enjoying it. She was enjoying the fact that Andy didn't know that she was the Wendigo, and she was just like kind of flirting with him. They had this sexual energy, and he was like kind of enjoying it. He was like, "Oh, I wish I was a coach, you know." But I was like, Andy, for crying out loud, she wants to eat you. But I don't know, she was just scary. The Dream Sorcerer, also very scary. I don't think it was a great villain because, I don't know, it wasn't that he had a lot of charisma or something, but he was very scary. Like, outside of the dream world, he wasn't very scary. He was just, I don't know, a creep. Rex and Hannah were also one of my favorite villains. Like I said, I wish we saw more. I've seen more. Then also the Dark Lighter. Dark Lighter I also want to mention. Like I said, I kind of wish we seen more about him. Not in that episode in particular, but I wish we saw more about, like, how was their relationship? Like, he was like, we were in love. You remember this? I want to see, like, how did it begin? When did things turn sour? Because he told her that he was a Dark Lighter, and then things all went bad. But like, what was before that then? I don't know. I just wish we'd seen more. I think we're going to see more Dark Lighters in the series. I do hope so. But I really like that concept. I really like that. So yeah, that was my favorite villains. I think I also had this list of favorite moments, but it's way too much. So I was trying to list my favorite moments, but then I was like, wait a minute, am I just writing everything down? I'm just going to highlight a few. Yeah, sorry if I'm reading it, but I just want to save some time. But for example, I have, like I said, Leo saving Mac's father, such a relief. The reveal of the Wendigo. Phoebe finds out about Leo. When Leo was like at the chandelier flying, and she was like, ah! Oh, and she thought he was a warlock. It was like, no, if I was a warlock, wouldn't he already be dead? You have a point. Andy confronting Prue. And Andy was like, wait, how many times did you give me? 1 minute? 1 minute to process the fact that you were a witch? And she was like, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 minutes more or less. It was just hilarious. And I was just literally clapping for Andy, like, yes, exactly. She should have given you more time. You can't just give someone 1 minute or something, or like a few minutes, like, oh, I'm a witch, and then they'd be surprised if they're like, yeah, actually, I'm not really feeling the mood to date a witch. So yeah. Yeah, for the pilot episode where Piper used her freezing powers for the first time, and she used that moment to fix, I think, the food that her boss was tasting, and she was kind of casual about it. I was like, wait, aren't you more shocked that you can freeze things? She was like, what? Oh wait, let me take a second to fix this. I don't know. It was just funny. Yeah, family reunion, not only with her mom, but also with her ancestor. Yeah. I think I mentioned the rest of it. Oh yeah, I also have to mention Andy and his awesome reflexes, because whenever there's a villain behind him, I'm like, Andy! He turns around and he's like, do, immediately shooting like so fast. I'm like, dude, what the F? He doesn't even need a second. He was like, whoa, I'm immediately going into action and you're gonna die. I think I haven't really seen that many agents or other people on shows who shoot that fast. But I mean, finally someone understands you don't waste any time. You don't you just, if you see something ugly like that, you just shoot at it. And of course, I also want to mention the scene where Andy got to look at the Book of Shadows. Really like that he got to see it for himself. Really beautiful. I wish we had more moments that he could look through the book, but yeah. Then someone asked me on Twitter, who is also my moderator, and who also always thanks at the end of my video, who's my executive producer. I hope I say her name correctly, Amanda. Yeah, I want to thank Amanda P again for her support. But she asked me which of the sisters has like my favorite power. Which power do I want to have from the sisters? Well, I didn't have to think for that long. My initial answer was Prue's powers. Not just because she's my favorite, but I'm just like, I can be kind of lazy sometimes. So if I had her powers, I would just use it to clean up my room. And I know, not for your own game, but as you can see, it's a little bit of a mess there. I have to go through a lot of boxes just to fill in my cabinets or whatever. If I had my powers, I would already be done. Like, while I'm recording this video, if I'm like very good at powers, then I can simultaneously, like at the same time, I can clean up my room. I don't know. It's just a stupid reason, but I like it. And maybe I could also like sit on a chair and then use my powers to like fly with the chair. You know, like I'm flying on a chair. Yeah, maybe I should stop talking. I don't know. But I would also like Piper's freezing power. That was also one of the options. I was like, maybe that one, because then a lot of the times I don't have enough time to do the things I want because I'm pretty busy with school. I mean, I wish I could release a video every day. So if I had that freezing power, I could just freeze the time, then record like, I don't know, a whole season in one day, and then I can focus again on school. But then I reminded myself like, hey, oh wait, like it isn't like she's freezing the time and whole the world. She's only freezing people at a certain place, so it wouldn't work. Plus, if it would work, imagine if she could, in fact, freeze time, you know, everywhere, that I would still get older. So, imagine, like, if I'm releasing the episodes, like, at a certain point of time, you're just like, why does Marty look so old? Because I will probably get distracted or do other things in between recording, and then things would take too long, and I don't know. If I want to freestyle, I sort of want that my aging process, whatever, will get paused as well. I don't know. But yeah, she just freezes people, which can be handy as well, but I don't know. I would just go for Prue's power. Um, I think I also had the question of which aspect do I like the most about each system of their character. Well, of Prue, if I had to choose one thing, I already said it. Her confidence. She's just so confident. I'm not saying that she's never doubting things, but at the end of the day, she's sure of herself. She knows what she wants, and she doesn't let people. Doesn't let people mess with her. And I wish I had that same attitude because Prue is still a very sweet person, and she means well. But you know that if you wanted to have someone, if you want to have something from her, or if you want to do something with her, you know that you have to respect her because unfortunately there are a lot of people who just walk all over you. They just, as soon as they see that you're a sweet person, and like Pipe for example at the beginning, and you don't really want to have any confrontation or don't want to have any arguments, then you know, she's not going to take you seriously. And that's it. But with Prue, I mean, there's still people in her life that are just like her boss that kind of, you know, mistreat her sometimes. But at the end of the day, she isn't like, she is still sure, like, this is who I am. Yeah, that's the main point. This is who I am. I am what I am, and I love myself. Because she said to Andy, like, if you can't accept me for who I am, with my powers, then she knew that it couldn't work. Like when he was asking about if the children would have powers, she was so offended. She was like, how can you even ask me something like that? Like she didn't say that, but that was like the vibe that I got. Which I really, that's the point. We have to love ourselves, and that can be very difficult. But then with Piper, she is just such a kind soul. I really like how she wants to keep the peace. I don't know. Like, of course, none of them wants to have any arguments. But a lot of times she can be sort of the voice of reason. Yeah, the voice of reason. When Prue and Phoebe have these extreme ideas of extreme plans, she can go like, oh, wait. Do we really want to do this? Or can we do it like this way? Plus, she's also looking out for everyone. I don't know. She's just so sweet. She's one of the sweetest persons I've ever seen. And I'm so glad that eventually she learns that even though you're sweet, you don't have to have people mess with you. You can still stand up for yourself. And then Phoebe. With Phoebe, I like what I already said this, that she can put people at ease. That it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. It doesn't matter what your background is. She generally wants to help you. She is the one who has this mission statement. She really cares about herself. She's really so invested. Like, this is her powers. This is her destiny. Like from the beginning, actually, now to think back on it, she was already in the pilot. Like, you know, we have these powers, and the book says this. Maybe we should do this. She takes it very seriously, but she doesn't just see it as some kind of duty. Oh, I have to do this. She really has a passion for it, and you see that when she is talking with. With one of the victims, or with one of the people in danger, or with someone who knows more about it, she puts them at ease. She gives them the time and space they need to tell their take of the things that are happening. I don't know. They're all so sweet. They just but they I'm not really good at saying it, but they're just so unique. But at the same time, they all feel not similar. But I don't know. They're just. Oh my god, I just wish I knew them in real life. I wish they were, like, real, that's for one thing, but they exist in real life. I wish I could be friends with them, but I think everyone wants to be friends with them. They're just so awesome. So I'm thinking about things that I might have forgotten to say. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes again. But I think that I said most of the things I wanted to say, and I'm really scared to find out how long I've been talking. But I think I want to end off with showing that I have season 1. Those of you who follow me on Twitter already saw this, but I bought the first season because I was like, treat myself. What I forgot to say is that I bought season 1, and let me show you. Is that I bought season 1, end season 2 with the money that I got from you guys who supported me on Patreon. So thank you so much. Because even though that I usually don't mainly use the DVDs to react to, I do like that I have a backup. Plus, it's more comfortable to rewatch favorite episodes while on TV instead of my laptop. But you don't have to worry. I didn't look at. I didn't read the back of the DVD box of season 2. I also didn't look inside of the DVD box because I don't want to be spoiled. I'm planning to start off with season 2 as fast as I can. I hope I can do it like after this video actually. But season 1, I did look into it after I finished it, and I really like the design of it. I think most of you already have this box. Of course, I have the version from Belgium, I guess, because it's in both Dutch and in French. But I really like the design of it. I'm really bad at showing it this way, but I don't want to damage it. But you have this little booklet which has I think every episode in it, plus a little bit of a description of each episode, what's happening, and then you have you have the DVDs, of course, which also have unique artwork, which I really like. I haven't seen what the menu looked like though, because I wanted to use one of the DVDs on my Blu-ray player, but I didn't have the time yet. But I might do that after this video. Yeah, I might do that first and then see season 2, the premiere. But I really like this. I'm really glad that I have the DVD box, and I'm also glad that I have season 2. If the series stays as good, I'm definitely going to buy the rest of the series. I hope I can buy more individual box sets, because I'm really a sucker for that. Yeah, but anyway, this video is a whole chaos. So if you watch this whole video, thank you. And if you watch part of the video, I don't mind as well, because I'm not really that clear. I wish my English was better. Maybe it will improve this way. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for watching. And again, if you're like, oh, why did you discuss this? Why did you talk about that? Don't worry. Just put down your question in the comment box and I will do my best to answer it. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye.